heavy rain. More storms expected early next week. Richard Wedding of the Weather Channel for Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
It's 89 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
It's time for the Miller's Edge with 4-time SEC champion and 2-time national champion Christian Miller.
Once again with Christian Miller taking him down.
Here's college football playoff national champion Christian Miller on Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC.
And welcome into this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Hope you guys are doing well. Got another fun one lined up for you guys here today as we keep progressing through the dog days of summer. They're winding down. We keep talking about SEC Media Days. That's because that's the next, I guess, big thing on the schedule. Wide. Everybody's kind of counting down the dates that I believe is down in Tampa. Does that sound right to you? It's down in Tampa, Florida. My uncle's down there. Is that right, Wyatt?
Tampa, Florida. We'll be down there. Myself and a couple of others from the radio station will be down there. I'll get down there Sunday, and I'll stay through Thursday.
Wait, so you're going down this Sunday, like in a couple days?
No. Sorry, July 19th.
Okay, got it. I was about to say, dang, you're trying to get a little vacation. I don't blame you. Hey, go enjoy some Tampa weather. And, well, it's hot enough here, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, Tampa's a nice place. I mentioned my uncle is down there. Maybe we'll send him on over to. Listen, I don't know if you guys, I don't know why I said I don't know if you haven't seen my uncle. I just was thinking sometimes he's kind of in the mix. But why? Funny enough, he's like my dad's twin, man. Believe it or not, they look just alike. I need a full, let me find a picture of him real quick. Anyway, if I send him down there, you guys would think it was a Pastor Payne. They look just alike. He's like a little bit smaller though. Like he's like a couple inches shorter, a little bit smaller, but they look very similar. He lives in Tampa, or at least he has a house down there. So maybe we'll send him to go cover some SEC Media Days. But you mentioned y'all will be heading down there. And how long are y'all staying just for Alabama's portion? You guys plan on staying the whole time? What's y'all's schedule?
So I think Ryan Fowler, he's going to leave Wednesday night. He's going to fly out Wednesday night, be back in Tuscaloosa Thursday. Me and the intern that are going, we're going to be down there Monday through Thursday. We'll stay all the way through Thursday because I think the last coach to go is Steve Sarkisian. On like Thursday afternoon. So we're going to stick all the way through and then drive kind of late through the night, but be back in Tuscaloosa by Friday morning.
Well, at least it's in Tampa. I mean, I'm sure y'all get to have a good time down there. I mean, outside of my uncle, I mean, I've been to Tampa, lost the national championship down there. That wasn't fun, but it's a nice place. Great place other than losing championships there.
We got bad luck in Tampa, man. Y'all lost the Natty, the monsoon game against South Florida, and then whatever the hell that ReliaQuest Bowl was.
Oh, wait, that was in Tampa, too. I forgot about that. Yeah, I don't know, man. Tampa hasn't been too good to us, but
bad vibes.
Media Day is different. Yeah, I mean, it's different, though. I mean, unless Coach DeVore's cursed, he might just say something he shouldn't say or something, then it blows up. Maybe the curse continues that way. Hopefully not. But
if he does, it's more content for us.
You know, that's unfortunately, that's kind of how this business works, I guess. So, kind of like my dad said yesterday, he thought I was getting on Deion Sanders when I mentioned the Julian Lewis thing. And listen, I just was going off what the young man said. Now, I'll be honest, going back and listening to it a little bit, like I will be the first one to tell you, like, it's not that they're not watching tape. It's not that they're probably not coaching the young man. He probably definitely meant it more in the regards of, hey, as a quarterback, we know a lot comes with that position, but not everybody is able to necessarily, handle those things. And so sometimes the coaches do probably give you a little bit less. Like that is true, right? Like a coach isn't going to say, hey, man, we're going to throw in our system where we need you to go through all these key reads and do all these, the pre-snap, we need you to do all these things for us. When you're just not quite there yet, that really would be probably bad coaching, all right? So I get it. He probably was saying, hey, it was more so, hey, keep it simple, be a football player, right? Just kind of 1, 2, boom, hey, do what you do, make plays. I still just took it as the way he came out in the interview was just like, man, that's just not a great look from the quarterback, right? I mean, and then at that, he's like your top recruit quarterback. I mean, he's going to be the guy, at least supposed to be the guy this year. I mean, it sounded kind of weird, but anyway, I promise. I don't try to just attack people. I always try to give them a fair share, but for whatever reason, man, I guess Deion Sanders, my dad has a point. I do remember a couple of years ago, I was a little hard on him with that whole situation with the Gucci Louis comments that we brought up. I don't know. just not necessarily my speed, man. Like the way Coach Saban gets on us or got on us, that's one thing. But he wasn't like putting us down. Well, okay, he's kind of putting us down in another way. But it was like the old school kind of way. Not like, hey, man, you guys are Ross and TJ Maxx, which I shop at 24/7. That's what I grew up on. And you know what I mean? I'm like, dang, like that just seemed a little harsh. I don't know. But anyway, we talked about that yesterday. In terms of today, we got a couple of things we'll dive into. But Wyatt, real quick, this popped up, and I want to get it out of the way because I know people probably don't want to talk a whole bunch about Tennessee. But did you see that they dropped some new uniforms? Now, I want to say they just made a switch because weren't they with Nike? Then I think they just ended up jumping on the Adidas train. Not too sure if it was money related. Wouldn't be surprised if it was. Nothing wrong with Adidas, but I feel like Nike's kind of like the premier brand. Like when I was in the NFL, like you get to sign with a brand. I signed with Nike. I think everybody kind of loves Nike now. Now that I'm kind of in the investment side of things, I invested in Nike. I'm not going to lie to you. The stock has done terrible over the last few years. I don't think there's, they're prominent in the eyes of people, but realistically, the company's probably not trending the right. Anyway, that's another topic for another day. Tennessee unveiled some new uniforms, Wyatt, and I just was curious if you got a chance to see them because I know we're not big fans of Tennessee this way, but I'm not going to lie to you, man. These black uniforms that they unveiled, these things are clean. And I know we're not. Alabama's not implementing all black uniforms anytime soon. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like those are tough. Would you agree?
Put it out on my social media, which to be fair, most of my following is Alabama fans. But I said, is this gas or is this ass? To me, this is gas. Like I love these uniforms. Not in love with the color orange, but the uniforms are beautiful. They have not announced what their blackout game's going to be. Got a feeling they're saving it for third Saturday in October. I've got a feeling they're going to wear those against Alabama.
See, that kind of goes against, I feel like typically people are like, they're a little superstitious and like, hey, we don't want to mix things up too much for big games. But I guess some people do I think Ole Miss is kind of like, Ole Miss doesn't really care. I've seen them kind of pull out. Didn't they have like camo uniforms or something? They did a sponsorship with like
They did, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's got connections.
They wore the camo helmets against Georgia in the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, I was about to say, I knew they wore for a big game. I'm not going to lie. A lot of people probably didn't like those, but I thought it was kind of different. I mean, Ole Miss, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are outdoorsmen, Realtree. I think it's a good combo. Anyway, it's pretty interesting to see. I don't know, man. I know it's
This is a coordinated monthly test of the broadcast stations of your area. We are testing equipment that can quickly warn you during emergencies. If this had been an actual emergency, an official message would have followed the alert tone. This concludes this test of the emergency alert system.
definitely done gray.
They did black with Nike, but this is the announcement with the Adidas switch.
Okay, I was about to say, because the more I was looking at this, I realized, I feel like I've kind of seen this. It's like they've done black. Have they done gray before, too? Like a dark gray, like the color of my hat gray?
They did, yes. They did a dark gray at one point, too.
Yeah, I feel like they've kind of mixed it up a little bit. I know Alabama fans aren't interested in that, and I get it. I told this, not even a story, but I mentioned this before. Funny enough, when I was getting recruited by Alabama, and this is so silly, but I'm just being completely honest with you. When I was I say immature. I was actually very mature for my age, but I'm saying in the sense of not really understanding like the history and tradition piece. When I was deciding between schools, Wyatt, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I had not like as a negative, but the way I viewed it was Alabama's uniform was a little bit of a negative to me when I was kind of going through the recruiting process. I just was like, I'm looking at Florida, I'm looking at Georgia, and I'm looking at Alabama. And I'll be honest, I kind of ranked Alabama's uniforms last at that point in time. And it's crazy because it's really kind of flipped, and I don't know if that comes with maturity. Again, I was not immature in the sense of doing silly things, but in the sense of really appreciating the history and tradition behind it. Because now I'm like the opposite. Now, even though I think these black uniforms are tough, they're just because they're not. It's nothing crazy is going on. It's just everything's blacked out. So I do think it's tough. But for Alabama, I would much rather see teams like Alabama, like the Penn States, hell, even Stanford, just the basic clean uniforms. I feel like there's just something, even like in the NFL, I feel like some of the newer uniforms, I don't know, like some teams have gone back to some of their older traditional looking uniforms. I just think that's cool, man. I mean, especially in a world where you got guys wearing 0 and 5 at the edge spot in the NFL. It's just different to me. So now I'm really appreciating tradition. But in high school, I low-key was like, man, Alabama's uniform swag was pretty bad. But I will say this, it was because you had to wear black cleats, which they still pretty much do. But back then, before Nike had, like some more swag, they're like black clunky cleats, plain white socks, the plain uniforms, I was like, yeah, you didn't have like the cool face mask like you do nowadays. The thing about Alabama's face mask, like back in 08, 09, is it looked kind of like, man, I don't know. But then when I got there and they started, the Nike uniforms really were updated and like we had the icy whites. I'm like, yeah, these are clean. I appreciate it much more. Anyway, I just saw this come up and just thought I'd mention it. And speaking of uniforms, it looks like Wisconsin's also doing something a little bit different.
Now those are ass.
I was about to say
those are bad.
This is too much right now. In my opinion, right? This is all subjective. This is too much. The chrome numbers, chrome stripes, chrome decal on the helmet, bright red. And then get this. I don't know if you guys peeped this, but they've got a logo patch on there. I mean, this looks like an arena football team uniform. I mean, this is way too much. Now, granted, I think it says special uniforms that they'll wear versus Notre Dame, another big game. I don't know if I'm feeling. I don't know if I'm feeling these. The font of the number is huge and big chrome. It's too much going on.
It feels like Rutgers to me, which is how they've been playing the last couple of years. So maybe it's fitting.
Yeah, I could.
It reminds me of the NFL Color Rush back from like 2016. Yeah. That's the vibe I get from this.
That does kind of, well, because of the red cleats too. It's so much red. It does kind of like a color rush. I agree with you. Yeah, I could probably pass on those. I do know, speaking of jersey patches, before we hit this break, they have really become pretty prominent now. Why NIL is a big thing, people trying to raise more funds. Now, we haven't heard news on Alabama. I know we talked about this a while ago. Maybe Alabama could sign some type of deal with somebody. If they do, I mean, we talk about tradition and history. That would be very interesting. But last time we had this conversation, we also agreed that, I mean, you got graduate patches on the jerseys. You get bowl game patches that say Chick-fil-A, Peach Bowl, right? I mean, so like, it's not like you've never had other patches or things on there. But we'll talk a little bit about this when we come back. I think it's a pretty interesting conversation. But I don't know if Alabama does, in fact, end up like this, because there's several SEC schools that have gone ahead and done this. I mean, what brand would you guys be okay with? We had this conversation a while ago, but I want to revisit it because it's kind of coming back up, and I don't remember exactly what we said. I know Mercedes-Benz was a popular choice, pretty clean logo. Normally, signifies a high-end luxury brand. I feel like that's pretty fitting. Only thing I wouldn't want them to do, Wyatt, is no offense to them. Hey, if they want to sponsor our show, I'll gladly I'll put the patches all over my polo here. What's the chip brand that Alabama's real close with?
Golden Flake.
Yeah, let's not. No offense. Again, if you guys want to work with us on the show, hey, we'll definitely we'll talk some Golden. But I like the food, but I don't know if I want to see Golden Flake on an Alabama jersey, man.
The Golden Flake Miller's Edge.
Hey, we do have a title sponsorship opportunity. I mean, maybe we need the Miller's Edge presented by Golden Flakes. I mean, listen, the food is pretty good. It's Alabama uniform's a little bit different. I don't mind rocking it on my polo, but I don't know. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about that when we come back. But first, we got to hit a timeout. We got Brandon clear at 11:30. Plus, we'll go to the phone lines. 205-342-9904 is the number. Love to get you guys in on the conversation right here on this Wednesday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
The Alabama Crimson Tide with the Gary Harris Show.
Hey everybody, it's Gary Harris. Friday morning at 9 a.m. It's special on the Gary Harris Show, the TGIF edition. We're going to get you ready for the weekend. All that great music, plus some terrific guests and your phone calls. That's Friday morning at 9 a.m. on the Gary Harris Show.
Watch the Gary Harris Show.
Midway rides, nightly concerts, and the granddaddy of all field sports, Choctaw Stickball.
Visit ChoctawIndianFair.com and like us on Facebook.
Hope to see you there. Hachapisa Lajige.
Hey, it's Christian Miller, and I wanted to tell you about our friends over at Lamparello Law, Education and Advocacy. Founded by attorney and Professor Adam Lamparello, helping students at every level with mentoring, exam prep, applications, and career planning. Adam also represents students, faculty, and athletes in academic misconduct, First Amendment, NIL, and criminal defense cases. Known for real care and relentless.
Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Here's your Tuscaloosa and West Alabama forecast. Sweltering sunshine, 93. Gentle southwest breeze. Keep the umbrella handy for scattered afternoon showers and storms. They'll fade away this evening. We turn clear overnight, 75. Friday brings more hot sunny weather with a high 94. Storms likely Saturday, leading to a wet Sunday with periods of heavy rain. More storms expected early next week. Richard DeWething of the Weather Channel for Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
It's 89 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Alabama Crimson Tide lives right here.
Down to the pylon. Touchdown, Alabama.
On Tide 100.9.
Welcome back into this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. We got Brandon Clear coming up in a few minutes. I know we got Chris on the phone lines. Matter of fact, let's do that. Let's go ahead and get Chris on the phone lines. That way we can get to him before we go to Brandon Clear. Chris, welcome in. Chris, you there? Going once, going twice. And we'll try to circle back and see if he's still on there in a little bit. Chris from Decatur, try to get you on there quick, man. I guess that wasn't quick enough. That was probably the fastest I've ever gone to the phone lines, man. I was like within a few minutes. Anyway, that said, we were talking some uniforms. We took a look at Tennessee's all-black uniforms. I see that they also just showed their regular uniforms. They look pretty much the same, standard. I do like the all-whites. I'm not going to lie. They got I think they're kind of copying us a little bit. I don't know. Have they ever just gone all white like that? Why? Where like literally the helmet, the jersey, and the pant. Let me put on the screen so you can see.
I think they have before. I know with the Nike uniforms, they had an orange collar, or they had the orange around the collar, but this is just all white with orange numbers. I know we don't like Tennessee, and that's not my favorite shade of orange, but it kind of looks nice. I like the minimalist stuff, right? Where if you're all white with the orange accents. I don't like the orange splatters in there or like the color gradient that a lot of these NFL teams are doing. I don't love that. So if you go like all white uniforms with orange accents or all black uniforms with orange accents or whatever your secondary color is as the accent, I like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just very plain, very simple. The numbers look really big for some reason. I don't know.
They are. They did a new font.
Yeah, that's the only. The font is very big, very bold. Not a huge fan of that, but I mean, I think it's a nice little clean little uniform they got with Adidas. I mean, so it's hopefully, I don't think that'd have any impact on the game, but we just need to make sure we take care of business. Forget their uniforms. I don't mind their uniforms, but I just want to make sure we take care of business. Going on the road this year, like you said, last couple times on the road, man, in Rocky Top. That's kind of, now that I think about it, you're right. When was the last time we got a dub in Rocky Top?
It was 2020, but that was a lower capacity stadium. They've not won a game in a full capacity Neyland Stadium since you were in college.
Wait, are you serious?
2008, because we get them every even number years, right? So 18 they won, or y'all won. 20 they won, but it was like 30% capacity because of COVID. 22 was the first time Tennessee had won in 17 years, and then they won again in 24.
I didn't even think about it like that. I mean,
they haven't won a Neyland Stadium in front of 100,000 since you were in school.
Listen, the place is a tough place to play. I mean, I'll be the first one to acknowledge that. I know I've told this story. I know it sounds like I'm just rinse and repeat. But again, I mean, there really was that one year. It was not 2018. It was 2016. I was on that special teams unit, and we went out to punt. And I think it was one of the early punts of the game. And I'm just telling you, man, like, so I was a right guard or right tackle, whatever, on the front line. And then, we used to do pro-style punts. Let me paint this picture for you because everything's different. College punt, you just see like the one long row, then you've got like the three shield men. right? We used to do pro-style punt. And what I mean by that is think of an NFL punt, right? Where you got the guys they're all in they're 1 foot back type deal. You got 2 guys on the right, 2 guys on the left, a wing on the right, a wing on the left, and then you have the what we call the PP, personal protector, right? He's the one that does the cadence. So we did pro-style punt, so he was calling everything. And then he's only 5 yards off the ball. He's not far back. The shield, I feel like it's a little far back. He's not that far. And I was at right guard, right tackle, whatever it was. And I remember, man, just when we went out there to punt, because they had made a big play on 3rd down or something to force us to punt. So it was just loud. And then when we go out there to punt, I hear no cadence, none. And then I'm looking up, and I'm bro, I'm watching the clock just go down. I'm yo, what is he doing? And then I remember the snappers looking back and forth, and everything is just in a frenzy. Then they start yelling and freaking out. And then I think we either had to call timeout or a penalty, and it just was they got even louder. And I just remember thinking, I'm bro, this is so obnoxiously loud. And I'm used to crowd noise. We play crowd noise to simulate that. And Mac Jones, he was talking about that. If you listen to him on Bustin' with the Boys, he's a character, man. He is hilarious. We got some clips we'll pull from that. But anyway, I just remember thinking, Wyatt, I'm bro, this is probably the craziest environment that I think I've been in at that point. That was 2016. That was technically my 3rd year, my redshirt sophomore year. But I always, if I had to rank SEC environments before we hit this timeout, because we're about to have Brandon Clear join us anyway. And ironically, I just saw this post on X. It said top 5 home field advantages in the SEC. This was their ranking. They had the Swamp as number 1. Unfortunately, I never got to play in the Swamp. And I played Florida, but they came to Tuscaloosa. Then I played them, I think, twice in the SEC championship game. I hated that because I was committed to Florida. I would have loved to go down there and play, and hear the whole Gator chomp and all the stuff that they do. That would have been cool. But they have LSU as 2, Neyland is number 3, A&M 4, Alabama 5. And I'll be honest with you, my runner-up to Tennessee, without a doubt, would be Texas A&M. Wyatt, I think you've been to several games at Texas A&M. That environment gets loud. I don't even know how much the stadium holds. I don't think it's
the biggest stadium in the SEC.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize it was. I'll be honest with you.
I think it's the second biggest college stadium behind Michigan.
Okay, well, that makes perfect sense. When you look at it, Tennessee's is the shape of it. It looks like a bowl. So it feels like everything is just kind of the noise is just pounding down at you. Maybe it's the shape of Texas A&M. But I'll be honest, I didn't think Texas A&M Stadium looked that big when we played there, but it's probably just the design. But it is loud, man. Those two, I would say those two probably. This question is always tough because when we play Auburn, the Iron Bowl, that gets loud. And even Tiger Stadium, that, dude, I'll be honest with you. I don't even know I don't know. I will say this before we hit this break. Alabama, Bryant-Denny Stadium has done a lot better. I'm not going to lie to you. When I was playing here, we didn't really get that loud. Just being honest. But, I think my theory is why we were beating people just so bad that it was kind of what are they supposed to get that loud for? It's kind of just hey, we're beating these guys by 35 points right now, and this is an SEC conference game. You really want us to be screaming at the top of our lungs? A lot of students are already packing up in the 3rd quarter. So I feel unfortunately, that kind of, played a part of that. But it's better, though. I feel like last couple of years, Bryant-Denny Stadium has been loud as hell. But we've also had some closer games.
It's gotten much, much better here when you look at the last couple of seasons. And it really started in 23. That 23 season just had an odd feeling about it throughout the year. And now we know it's because Coach Saban was going to retire, or at least did retire at the end of the season. And then, like you mentioned, the closer games in 24 and 25 under Coach DeBoer, you've needed that crowd to step up and kind of carry their weight. And they've done a really good job.
Yeah, no, they really have. I'll give them that credit. I can't remember what game it was, but there was a game or two over the last couple of years that I was dang, this is what it needs to be and what it should be when you talk about Bryant-Denny Stadium, the home of Alabama. Because like I said, when I was in school, sometimes it was there would be a series or two where it got real loud, and then the rest of the game is just kind of people are just kind of chilling they're tailgating just because we're just beating people down like that, I guess. I don't know.
It's what happens when you beat everybody so bad that your backup quarterback plays in 9 games.
That's actually a really good point, man. That's a great point. We got to hit a timeout. We come back. We got Brandon Clear. He's going to join us on the phone lines. We'll talk with him, talk a little bit about this, college football, things related, and we'll keep on rolling right here on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC. Do you have cracks or potholes that are dragging down your property's appeal? Hey, I'm Christian Miller, and at Asphalt Restoration, we transform driveways and parking lots with expert repairs, new paving, or resurfacing. Fast, durable, and family-owned quality that you can trust. Don't let small issues turn into big expenses. Call 205-393.
And high-quality ingredients. We want to say, that sounds great. We've been doing that since 1974.
Under the biggest cactus in town, Taco Casa.
Hey, it's Christian Miller, and I want to tell you about our great friends over at Brian Harding Construction. Located in the heart of Tuscaloosa, Brian Harding Construction is woman-owned and strong as steel. A specialty manufacturing firm with expertise in structural steel fabrication, ASME code piping and vessels, CNC machine work, welding, laser cutting, pipe fitting, industrial maintenance, and crane rentals. With a proven track record of over 30-plus years of experience, no one is better fit for the job. For an evaluation, contact Brian Harding Construction today at 205-752-9611. Again, that's Brian Harding Construction at 205-752-9611.
Never miss a moment of the action. Download the free Tide 100.9 app today.
And welcome back into this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. We're now going to the phone lines. We're joined by Brandon Clear, former Clemson wide receiver, joins us every Thursday here on the show. Brandon, welcome in, brother. Good Thursday to you.
Hey, what's up, Christian? Miller's Edge family. Always a pleasure to join y'all every week.
Absolutely, man. Always a pleasure getting you on here, man. And I want to kick things off and ask you a football question specifically about a wide receiver. And I know you being a former wide receiver, man, you got the expertise there. So I want to ask you two things real quick. Number one, we talked about this, I think it was yesterday with my dad. We're talking Ryan Coleman-Williams, kind of our expectations for him this upcoming season. I know we've kind of talked a little bit about that. But I guess the question kind of shifted to who do we believe steps up as that true wide receiver one in the 2026 season? I know a lot of people would assume Ryan Williams, if he can kind of get back on track, he's that kind of guy. But you also got Latsier Brooks, who really stepped up as a young freshman last football season. A lot of people excited about what he can do. Noah Rogers, before the injury, was looking like a very consistent weapon that he would have been very helpful to have. But it seems like that's going to be delayed a little bit. But when you look at this receiver room, what do you make of it, Brandon? I mean, how do you see it playing out? Who do you see stepping up as that wide receiver one?
So I have to lean on Ryan just because I've seen the talent. He's just different. And Lottie is going to be a phenomenal talent as well. And, again, I would say I don't want to discount who, this person is just because I know how great he was. But Waddle was that type of dude. But Waddle had so much more utility because he was able to return kicks, slightly taller, but the explosiveness and his ability to just make catch. I was like, the irony that they were both wearing 17 was crazy. So I know a lot of people are leaning on Lottie. I just don't know if my slot receiver could truly be my number one receiver. That's just my personal opinion. Ryan has all the makings and the tools to be a number one receiver, but again, you got to be able to catch the ball, man, in those tight moments. And the quarterback has to trust that this is the guy I'm going to in crunch time. And so Lottie has shown and proven that in crunch time, he can make the catch. When it's third and whatever, he's making the catch. If it's fourth and whatever, he's going to be making the catch. So Ryan has to be dependable, not just a big explosive playmaker. And so if that growth happens this year for him and he's able to catch the ball more consistently and have the confidence of his team, at no point, I'll be honest, anytime the ball's in the air and I know it's going to Ryan, I really do. I'm like, man, I just want him to catch the ball. And I don't like that feeling for a receiver. And, I played with some guys, man, that had questionable hands. Look, there was a lot of things that they could say about me, but I had great hands. My downfall was I was an overthinker. So I would get inside my head if I made a mistake, and then all of a sudden it would just kind of be paralysis analysis of trying to figure out exactly what's going on. But I had hands. I could catch the ball. Ryan doesn't trust his hands, and he's always been a body catcher. So asking a guy that is a body catcher to really start relying on his hands and making those tough catches, it is difficult because there's got to be times where you just have to naturally let the ball flow in, and that pass in the Georgia game is a prime example. He just got overexcited with the ball in there, and I've seen him catch the ball over his shoulder many times before. But it's different in pressure moments. And so he was pushing and trying to, meet the standard that the team had for him, and he was failing. And in my opinion, that was one of the issues that happened to him, that I think it was just the pressure of expectation. I think he's going to have a bounce back year. He's going to crush it. And this team's feeling, and the 2021 team, I think, is really the ceiling for this team. Because I believe in Akeelan Russell, because I think that there are elements. But, again, we're also dealing with, you had Devontae Smith in fifth-year senior mode that was balling. And so you can't find that type of energy in this room just because I don't think the experience is at that level. But Ryan has the capability to be that type of player. And you remember going into the year, man, they were talking about Devontae. It wasn't Devontae. They were talking about Waddle. And then when Waddle got hurt, Devontae ended up stepping up and showing that, hey, I'm that guy. So that's where a lot of the confusion happened. I was like, people were talking about Devontae, but they were more so like, Waddle's the guy. He's the game breaker. When he got hurt, I remember everyone was like, what are we going to do? Who's going to replace him? We don't have the production. And Devontae was like, hold my water. Don't forget I had 4 touchdowns against, was it Ole Miss or Mississippi State, one of them teams the year before? So he'd been that guy. He was just playing with extra guys that really kind of overshadowed his capabilities. This year, Ryan doesn't have any shadows. He's the guy. That's the expectation. But Lottie is not going to just sit back and idly watch him be 1A. He's like, I want to be 1A, and Ryan just has to be more consistent.
Yeah, I totally agree with you in the sense that your slot guy being your top guy is a little uncommon, and you definitely need somebody to really step up and provide that consistent presence. And I think Ryan has all these tools to do it, but like you said, just some little technical things, maybe getting over the mental hurdle could go a long way. But there's no denying. I mean, what he can do with the ball in his hands, man, is special. And even though people aren't going to probably think this just by some of the struggles that he's had, but he's the best playmaker they got on that team. I mean, that's just a fact. It's just a matter of kind of getting over some of those little hurdles like you mentioned. But Brandon, I want to ask you about another wide receiver. I saw that I think Charlie Potter, Bama Online, wrote an article on Rico Scott, a guy that's been in the program several years now, elected to stay here in Tuscaloosa. Probably could have entered the transfer portal, but in fact stayed here. He's very intriguing, man. I mean, you're talking about a guy that has a lot of tools and things that you want out of a wide receiver, a guy that has shown some flashes at times, right, in the limited opportunities that he has had. I mean, I know in the A-Day game, matter of fact, we got the highlights playing on the stream right now. He had himself a great day. I also know, I think it was scrimmage 2. I don't think it was scrimmage 1. I think it was scrimmage 2. Struggled with some drops. So I think consistency is definitely a big thing for him. But he's got a bigger opportunity. At least there's a window for it with Noah Rodgers, down with an injury. What do you think of a guy like Rico Scott? What do you think his, potential or ceiling is in that wide receiver room?
So Rico's going to get the first cut. I do agree with you. His biggest issue is also being consistent. He had a lot of hype going into it. I think when you get into the games and things are moving and you have, your receiver number 3, so your window of really making an impact is it's tough. And, you got guys chomping at the bit behind you, and I think that it got to him a little bit last year. So he'll get an opportunity because they wouldn't have pulled him out of the portal if they didn't need him or if they didn't think he was capable of doing something. I personally want to see a bigger receiver out there. Look, Rico's maybe 5'11", and he's built, you know what I mean? So he looks like a running back. I would really want to see some of these maybe younger guys that are bigger body X receivers to really be out there. But I think they're going to be moving and having Ryan in X and Z positions. I don't think he's going to really be in the slot. And then that creates an opportunity for Rico, who will most likely play Z. And having 3 guys that are below a certain height limit, you can get away with it, but you got to be very special. And look, Jerry Jeudy wasn't the biggest dude, but he's about maybe 6'1", 6'2". Devontae's about 6'1". Waddle 5'9". Ruggs was maybe 6 foot. So it's not like they had towering guys, but each one had a special element. And one thing that all those guys could do was what? Catch the ball. I rarely saw drops. If it was a drop, you're like, man, he must have got caught in the light, or it was always an excuse there. It was never the expectation. With this team, I was watching, this group, I don't know what it is, Christian. I mean, you've gone to some of the practices. Are they dropping the ball like that, or what kind of drills are they running? I don't know if that's – I don't want to blame coaching because I believe the previous coach was a really great receivers coach. I just don't know what they're doing in practice in order to ensure that whenever you do get into those moments, you're not clamming up. It's just – you can see it in practice. If there's balls hitting the ground, that's coaching. Because these guys, again, there's some receivers that just have natural hands. But when I was at Clemson, it was obvious when balls were hitting the ground. You got DeAndre Hopkins. You got guys like that. I was like, DeAndre never dropped the ball. I'm being like my entire time being there, he didn't drop one ball. Everyone's like, what? No, this dude was catching balls behind his back. Legitimately. He'd be jogging down the street. He'd be jogging around. He'd be like, oh, that ball's underthrown. He was just catching behind his back. I'm like, all right, you know what? And so I saw that. And so the pressure of being like, if you drop a ball, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. It forced everybody to step their game up. I don't know if this group is maybe nonchalant. I don't want to think that. I just, for some reason, it just seems as though that there are more drops than I've seen in previous years. And it's a little bit concerning. But you've been to the practices. Do you have any insights there of what you're seeing and why that might be an issue?
Well, I've seen them do drills where they're, at least with Coach Shepard, they're catching like all different types of balls. I remember I was kind of like, which I know a lot of people do stuff like tennis balls and stuff, hand-eye coordination. But I remember, I forgot what kind of ball it was, but it was something. It was like one of the bigger ones. I forgot, like a rugby ball maybe. I can't remember.
Rugby ball.
Yeah, I mean, you would know better than me in terms of those kind of drills in terms of like hands. I mean, of course, we all know, hey, more jugs after practice, right? I don't know. I don't remember us doing drills like that with rugby balls, but again, I'm not a receiver nor a receiver coach, so I don't know. When you mentioned kind of like that nonchalantness, I don't know if that's. I do feel like sometimes body language showed that a little bit. Again, I can only speak on really kind of what, like with us, if you dropped a pass, I mean, best believe Coach Saban was on your ass. That just got that. Like like it wasn't like oh man, like. But again, I feel like it's a common thing. Even like in the league, sometimes guys will drop passes and they're just kind of nonchalant. I just know for us, every little thing was like it was checked. Even if you know what I mean, like even if it was a little bit of a bad pass, I mean this expectation just felt like that high. But I don't know. I mean,
did you guys monitor? And it felt like Coach Saban would get on it, but it felt like the guys would monitor each other too. Is that true?
Well, we definitely had a lot of player accountability. I mean, I don't know if I remember exactly. I have to ask some of my teammates. I mean, like, I'm trying to think if they would have anything specifically like that they did if guys dropped. I mean, I know, like, yeah, guys would be on the sideline, like, you know what I mean, like making comments or like yelling at their guys, yelling at their peers or other receivers, but getting on them about dropping it. But you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I just always thought that was kind of normal. You know, I mean, is that something y'all did? Like, if I know you said Nuke Hopkins never dropped anything, but say somebody else in the room did it. Like, were you guys getting on them for their drops? I mean, did y'all chart drops?
We were clowning. We clowned them. Oh, we were clowning each other. If you dropped the ball, bro, we would literally we would have a song for the day. And if you dropped the ball, we were clowning you, and we were laughing. And so you just didn't want to be the dude getting clowned. And so, you know, Coach Sweeney if you drop the ball. Because you know he was a receivers coach. Drop balls, man, was you talk about pet peeves. And so one thing with us, we didn't do all the tennis balls and all the other stuff, man. They would paint the numbers on the ball, and you had to call the ball. You had to call the number out when you were catching it. And then they would have like the little. I don't know if you ever seen. I don't know if y'all had this at practice. It was like these foam type of things, and it was like blind you whenever like you would run behind it and they would throw it and catch it. I saw Alabama doing some drill with like the little blocking dummy things, and they had that pulled up, and it was supposed to be catching through the window. And so a lot of times this is also another thing, your hand and eye coordination, a lot of it is just repetition. So there were times where I would catch a ball, I don't even remember catching it. It was just more of a reaction because I had done it so many times. So these guys just got to start taking more accountability, like you said, just making sure they're taking it as serious as we did of just catching the ball, looking it in, and worry about the rest after the fact, and doing push-ups and all those other things to just make sure that they're holding each other accountable, being consistent, and not letting the team down because it could just be a momentum killer. So they'll do better. I think Ryan will do better this year. I think there's a lot of talent in that room. But, hey, watch out for Darian Morgan, man. That's one. He don't drop balls. So if he's a freshman, he's getting in there, he might make some mistakes, but guess what? Coach can always tell you to run a slant. As long as you catching the ball, they're going to give you some reps. So watch out. Them young guys, man, they catching the ball, and they're making it look easy. Ryan will get opportunities because he's a playmaker and he's explosive. But when the crunch time comes, look at where those targets are going. That's all I would say. The ball don't lie.
You know, one other thing I'll be, curious to see is, some of those big bodies that we have in that wide receiver room, how is that going to translate in terms of blocking downfield? I've been trying to go back and do my homework on our run game from last season, and I talk a lot about the tight ends failing to really help us out in the run game, but also times receivers not being the most reliable blocking downfield. And you talk about Cedarian Morgan being a big body guy, talk about Derek Meadows. I just wonder if they'll be able to kind of help out in that department, because I think that would be huge for us in terms of, getting some more explosives this upcoming season. So I'm curious about that. We got some big bodies to do it. They just got to have the mindset to match.
They do, Christian. One last thing. The wideouts, again, the size of you is irrelevant. It's the want to. That's, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people think you got to be the biggest dude to block. Just get in the way. You don't, and it's effort. And the biggest thing that you can tell from a receiver, if they even are willing to block, is watch when the screen is thrown. Are you getting blown past? Are you looking like you playing patty cake with the corner? Or the corner can smell it. You can smell if somebody wants that contact or not, and they will literally just treat you like a blocker dummy and push you out the way. So go ahead and start running some of them drills. And I saw Georgia doing this. I was like, this is what they need to start doing, man. Throw some screen balls and watch these receivers sock block and seeing if they got it in them to do it. Because if they don't, you get exposed real quick.
No, you're right. I know exactly what drill you're talking about. It's just a little screen drill, and they got to go take on those receivers versus corners and DBs, and it's a physical drill, man. You're 100% right. It might not be a bad idea, man. That's how you build some character. Now, of course, we ain't trying to get anybody hurt, but sometimes you got to throw some physicality in there. Let me not say that. My dad, but man, he's so soft nowadays, man. We used to do 2-a-days for 60 hours a week. I don't even want to get him started, man. Brandon, I appreciate you, brother, for always hopping on here, hanging out with us every week, bro.
Absolutely, bro. And look, when you get out to practice, just start watching some of those things and seeing. You can tell if physicality is being taught. We already talked about it from the run game. Everybody else, man, just see what the demeanor is of the team. And, again, within reason, being respectful. Just share with the group and tell us, like, what are you feeling? What are you seeing? And is it different? That's it.
Fair enough. We'll definitely be on the lookout. Brandon, I appreciate you, brother.
All right, bro. Hey, Miller's Edge family, roll tide.
Yes, sir. Roll Tide. Good stuff. Brandon Clear, former Clemson wide receiver, joins us every week here on the show. Always appreciate him and his efforts. We got to hit a timeout. When we come back, we keep on rolling on this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC. Hey, it's Christian Miller, and I wanted to tell you about our friends over at Lamparello Law, Education and Advocacy. Founded by attorney and professor Adam Lamparello, helping students at every level with mentoring, exam prep, applications, and career planning. Adam also represents students, faculty, and athletes in academic misconduct, First Amendment, NIL, and criminal defense cases. Known for real care and relentless advocacy.
Tuscaloosa Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Tuscaloosa's destination for iconic Jeeps. Owner loyalty earns $1,500 cash back on a new 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
From our home base in Birmingham, Alabama, we are here treating patients from every generation across the United States and from around the world. We're here for the rookies and the dreamers trying to make a name for themselves. We are here for the achievers
who are resilient
and won't take no for an answer. We're here for the coaches,
athletic trainers, and mentors
who are shaping the next home internet. Rely on 2 lines of Essentials, Choice 55, $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Here's your Tuscaloosa and West Alabama forecast. Sweltering sunshine, 93. Gentle southwest breeze. Keep the umbrella handy for scattered afternoon showers and storms. They'll fade away this evening. We turn clear overnight, 75. Friday brings more hot sunny weather with a high 94. Storms likely Saturday, leading to a wet Sunday with periods of heavy rain. More storms expected early next week. Richard DeWething of the Weather Channel for Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
It's 91 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Stay up to date with the Crimson Tide. Local high school sports and Bama in the pros right here on Tide 100.9.
back into this Thursday edition of Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTVC. Big thanks to Brandon Clear, who just joined us via the phone lines. Talked a lot about the wide receiver position, right? That I feel like it's going to be an interesting year for those guys this year. We're talking a lot about Ryan Williams. Can he kind of have that bounce back year? A lot of people believe that he can. I'm one of those people. I think he's going to have a big year. I think Lancia Brooks should have another good year following a very solid freshman campaign. Then we talked about a number of other guys, whether it's Rico Scott, who I just saw that article about him. I think his trainer talked very highly of him. And then some of the young players that we do have in that wide receiver room, guys like Derek Meadow, guys like Cedarian Morgan. I think it's going to be an interesting year for that wide receiver group. Why? I don't know if you saw, but I feel like there was like a list of like top weapons or top rooms, something like that. I feel like people are kind of split on Alabama's wide receiver room currently. I think depending on who you ask, some people, they see Ryan, they see Lancia Brooks, they see the young guys like Cedarian Morgan, and Noah Rogers before the injury. I think he was going to end up being a very, very solid contributor. But how do you see that wide receiver room compared to maybe the rest of the conference wide, or even maybe some of the other top wide receiver rooms in the country? Because I feel like some people are very high on the wide receiver room. Other people are like, there's a lot of question marks. I mean, outside of Lancia Brooks and then really Ryan and going off the potential that he has, right? We know he's had some inconsistency issues. Really, the rest are kind of question marks. So how do you view this wide receiver room currently?
They're top 5 in the SEC. In the country, they're definitely not. I look at it as, okay, so we know Texas is ahead of them, right? Cam Coleman, Ryan Wingo, okay, fine, whatever. Right. I'd put Texas A&M over them too, right? With Mario Craver, Ashton Bethel-Roman, and now Isaiah Horton being added to that room. About that 3 spot is where I start to really consider Alabama to be in this conversation. But you've got Florida, who have Eric Singleton and Dallas Wilson, 2 really good guys, maybe a little bit on the younger side with Wilson there. You got Oklahoma with Isaiah Satania, who's the leading receiving yardage guy back from the SEC. Like, he was 3rd in the SEC in receiving yards last year. 1 and 2 are gone. So Isaiah Satania is the leading guy returning in the SEC. Not to mention they had the kid from Texas. They had another 600-yard receiver from Virginia as well. So they've got a really good receiver room as well. But I slot this Alabama roster, or this receiving core, I'd say probably in the conversation for 3, probably leaning more towards 4 or 5. But they're a top 5 room in the SEC. And then you get Noah Rogers back, and I think it does start to bump them back up that list.
What's the latest on that? Because I hadn't even asked anybody about that. Last time we heard from Coach DeBoer, I think the expectation is he's going to miss a large portion of the year, which as somebody who was told that they were going to miss the entire season and then was able to come back, after 9 or 10 games or whatever. I definitely expect him to hopefully be back, but they never really detailed the exact injury. Pretty sure we all can tell it's, a knee injury. And when we talk about those timelines, it's a lot different than what it was. It used to be 6 months, at least. Now I feel like it's shaved back some, but that happened when? In April, right? So late April. So I guess May, June, July, August, September. September would be 5 months. So 6 months still would be October. And that's if, that's like at the earliest. So are we thinking maybe like the month of November, like the last quarter of the season maybe? Does that sound about right?
I went back and listened to the interviews that he did with, because you had him on, Ryan Fowler had him on, and so he got asked that question a couple of times. He never said he was going to miss the entire season. He was only stating that he would miss the start of the year. He wouldn't be ready to start the year. He wouldn't be ready for when we go in September. So I've kind of been playing with as, okay, he's going to miss about the first half of the year. So I'm looking at that Tennessee game probably being the first realistic chance at him coming back. And I'm sure he'll get asked about that in Tampa in 2 weeks, and in fall camp, I'm sure he'll get some questions about it. As we get into midseason, Mississippi State, Georgia, Tennessee, those questions will start to pop back up again. But I've been operating like he's going to miss about the first half of the season. Tennessee's around when you start to think, okay, maybe he can make a return, and he'll be back for the month of November. I'd say Granted, injuries are weird and we don't actually know what it was, but based on the way he's talking and based on the way, it seems like it's going, I'd say by the time they go to Baton Rouge, he'll be back on the roster.
The only question I have before we hit this top of the hour break is, even if he is cleared to return, I just wonder how much of an impact he'll be able to have. The only reason I said that, I don't mean to sound pessimistic, right? Again, I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you that you can come back from anything, especially when you talk about these injuries, man. I've proven that. But, tearing your biceps, which is not fun at all and required quote-unquote season-ending surgery. Shout out to Dr. Kane and our partners here, Andrew Sports Medicine. They're the best in the business, hands down, for nursing these injuries and getting you back out there. But as a wide receiver, Wyatt, you're talking about planting, cutting, change of direction, explosiveness, and a lower leg injury like Jay Money mentioned. Again, I'm pretty sure it's the knee. I almost wonder. I mean, hell, obviously, Stephon Diggs. I mean, remember he had a knee injury and he's out there running routes pretty quick. I'm not saying you can't do it, but and I don't think it's like Jalen Hale. Like that was bad. Like that was bad. I know it took him a while, but I can see Noah Rodgers coming back this season, but I don't necessarily see him having like a massive impact, unfortunately, this year. But maybe kind of getting in that rotation, kind of just getting some snaps here and there. The other piece of that is why by that point in time, guys like Cedarian Morgan, Derek Meadows, Rico Scott, whoever's filling that void, they're going to have a lot more reps under their belt. And I would imagine they're going to be probably a lot further along than kind of the way we view them right now. And again, there's only so many reps to go around. So just something to think about there. We got to hit this top hour break. When we come back, we keep on rolling on this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Monty Bolaños.
In baseball, Mookie Betts came in clutch for the Dodgers.
That swings, base hit, center field. Edmonds scores. Dodgers take the lead. For Mookie Betts, that is the 32nd go-ahead run batted in the 8th inning or later.
AM 570 LA Sports Dodgers radio network. They held on to defeat Colorado 4-3. The Padres took down the Diamondbacks 10-4. Kyle Schwarber hit his major league leading 32nd home run of the season, but the Phillies lost to the Reds 11-5. The Twins walked it off against the Guardians 6-5, while the Red Sox have won 5 in a row after blanking the White Sox 5-0. The World Cup continues on Thursday with the quarterfinals between France and Morocco. It all starts at 4 p.m. Eastern time on Fox TV. And in the WNBA, the Sparks beat the Fever in LA 106-92.
Do you have cracks or potholes that are dragging down your property's appeal? Hey, I'm Christian Miller, and at Asphalt Restoration, we transform driveways and parking lots with expert repairs, new paving, or resurfacing. Fast, durable, and family-owned quality that you can trust. Don't let small issues turn into big expenses. Call 205-393-9149 for your free estimate today. That's 205-393-9149. Asphalt Restoration, where smooth roads start. Roll Tide.
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case. In this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites, from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
For more info on marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, call 205-345-7200 or click on Advertise with Us on our website.
Hey, it's Christian Miller, and I want to tell you about our great friends over at Brian Harding Construction. Located in the heart of Tuscaloosa, Brian Harding Construction is woman-owned and strong as steel. A specialty manufacturing firm with expertise in structural steel fabrication, ASME code piping and vessels, CNC machine work, welding, laser cutting, pipe fitting, industrial maintenance, and crane rentals. With a proven track record of over 30-plus years of experience, no one is better fit for the job. For an evaluation, contact Brian Harding Construction today at 205-752-9611. Again, that's Brian Harding Construction at 205-752-9611. 9611.
And knocked down again. That was Christian Miller. It's time for the Miller's Edge with 4-time SEC champion and 2-time national champion Christian Miller.
Once again with Christian Miller taking him down.
Here's college football playoff national champion Christian Miller on Tide 100.9 and 1230 AM WTBC.
Into this Thursday edition of Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. No Adam today. I know normally Thursdays at the top of the hour we're joined by Mr. Adam Lamparello, Lamparello Law Education Advocacy, but Adam's on vacation. We'll let him enjoy that, and we'll circle back with him next week. But speaking of Lamparello Law Education Advocacy, if you guys are looking for that representation, somebody to represent you in a first-class manner, and do it for an affordable rate, man, make sure you check them out. Lamparello-law.com is the website. You can schedule yourself a free consultation today. Go on their website. You can see all the services that they offer. It's not just representation, whether that's, academic misconduct matters, NIL, any criminal defense matter, but also includes, services for high school, college, and graduate students, subject matter mastery, academic and career planning, exam and test taking preparation, all that good stuff, man. They offer it for you guys at Lamparello Law Education Advocacy. So make sure you guys check them out. Lamparello-law.com. Again, that's Lamparello Law, the official representation of all of us here on the Miller's Edge. All right, let's go to the phone lines and hear from you guys. 205-342-9904. We got Ragged Glory up first. Ragged, welcome in.
Hey, you know what? Have a blessed day. This has been very, very awesome. Listening to your caller or guest, what was his name about receivers he played for Clemson?
Yeah, Brandon Clear. Yeah, he's
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I'm sorry for not catching his name. But I want to tell you why there's too many passes being dropped. Okay? It is the greatest receivers that I have ever watched play the game at either receiver, tight end, slot back, flanker, even halfbacks, never wore gloves. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, if you can't feel the football, sometimes it can be hard to catch it, depending on where the pass is thrown and what you've got to do to react and get it. I say lose the gloves because there's more indoor games being played than there is really outdoor in bad weather. And if you got bad weather, get one of those little warm pouches hung around your belly and you're going in for a play. Give me bare skin and a little bit of stickum, because pigskin spins on leather. I remember when somebody tried to get me to do the glove. I couldn't even get a snap under center. It just doesn't work. Now, whatever technology probably has changed these days. Mm-hmm. And these new drills you guys were talking about, your quarterback has 3 seconds to get rid of the football, especially if, let's say, somebody like your father, good old Corey, come bearing down on you. And that ball has to come out as fast as you can, because that's the play that's called. Throw it as hard as you can, so let the receivers understand what that feels like. And then there's times where you can do the touches. You know, I'm just telling you, lose the gloves.
Yeah, see, and there's some people that share that belief, Raggy, but I will say, I'll be honest, I don't know if I can think of hardly any. I think almost every top wide receiver that I can think of uses gloves. There's a couple that I feel like sometimes, depending on situations, especially like weather, might shift that a little bit. But I think nowadays, if I'm being honest with you, now, granted, I play defense, but just knowing, I mean, gloves are, I mean, everybody wears them. You know, they're, and I'm not sure kind of which gloves that you were using when you had played, but I know nowadays.
They were just being introduced. But I'm talking about.
Were they like? What was the texture of them? Because I remember back when I was like, and I'm not.
It was
old,
leather. It was leather.
Yeah.
It was skinny leather, and then you got a pigskin football. You couldn't grip it.
Yeah,
there was no grip whatsoever. And even when you tried to treat them, the stickum wasn't working very good either. And I said, no way. I don't care if I'm freezing or if my hands are wet. Mm-hmm. Lose the gloves. Because if you can't feel the football, it just didn't work. And I'm watching all these, you know, I go way back to the early 60s and watching the most beautiful, graceful receivers of all time playing in all kinds of weather conditions, still catching the football without gloves.
Yeah, no, and you're right. Back then they didn't really use them like that. Now I think the stickum stuff that's illegal. You can't really use that. But the reason I asked what kind of gloves you're using,
they changed that. Okay.
Yeah, no, you can't really use those types of enhancements. Gloves are about as good as it gets in football. But I will say the reason I asked about the type of gloves you were using was because I remember when I played Pee Wee football, there was like the gloves that, like you just mentioned, had more of kind of like the leather feel on the front side. They weren't like sticky gloves. Nowadays, these gloves are very thin, and there's different types, right? So like Nike, for example, we had gloves that had padding on the backside. Those are more common for defenders, right? Because it protects,
of course,
your fingers and whatnot. But they still had the sticky front side because you still want to have grip, whether that's me trying to control an offensive lineman or whoever, right, to get a good grip there. You know, if I'm trying to drop in coverage, I want to catch an interception, I need some stick there. But also the receiver gloves are different because they don't have the padding. They are very thin. It's like a very thin glove. And then they have, you know, the best, quote unquote, stickiness possible that's legal on the front side. So I will say, if you get a chance to maybe attend like I don't know, a practice or something, I mean, maybe listen. I think we might be doing our show live this year. Maybe what I'll do is, if you get to catch us live, I'll bring a pair of gloves, some new gloves, so you can check them out. I will say they're a lot different than what they were, and they are helpful. So personally, just my opinion, I don't think the gloves are the issue so much as I would say probably lack of focus, attention, like on the football, right? I'm not saying in general, but just like, you really got to see things in. Like Brandon mentioned, sometimes guys try to catch with their bodies instead of their hands. That can lead to more drops. I really think it's probably a little bit more to do with those things, but just my opinion.
Okay, that's interesting. I can agree with that.
I want you to check some other. Or
you know what? Job one for a receiver is, okay, this back is bearing down on me, but I have got to get this ball on this play, no matter where it's thrown. So yes, focus on the football. Am I going to take a hit? Okay, here you go. As long as I can catch it. That's all that matters. And I'm talking about throwing the ball hard in practice. Get the finesse from the quarterbacks to them. It depends on how you want to set up the play. And that way they can expect, oh my gosh, here it comes. Ooh, it's coming fast. I mean, one of the hardest passers of all time was Joe Namath. The way they beat the Baltimore Colts was he threw the ball so hard that the defense for Baltimore couldn't catch it.
Yeah. That's one way
his receivers could.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's one way to try to prevent some interceptions, man. Defenders, they don't want to catch that heat like that frequently. But, Greg, we got to hit this timeout, man. I appreciate you calling. And definitely, if you get a chance, check some of these new gloves out. I think you'll be surprised. They're a lot different nowadays. But if you get a chance, man, I think you'd be intrigued by that.
Hey, I'll take that invitation to meet you. And
yes, sir. That sounds good.
Try some on it and see if I can throw it.
There you go. I'm not a great quarterback, but I'll chuck one to you. Hopefully it's not.
Hey, as long as you can catch it, that's all that matters, all right?
There you go. That's right. That's right. Braggy, you have a great
rest of your day, you guys.
Yes, sir. You too. Thank you so much. All right, we got to hit the timeout. We come back. We got Smitty on the phone lines.
Email or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
From our home base in Birmingham, Alabama, we are here treating patients from every generation across the United States and from around the world. We're here for the rookies and the dreamers, trying to make a name for themselves. We are here for the achievers,
who are resilient
and won't take no for an answer. We're here for the coaches,
athletic trainers, and mentors
who are provide the freshest, best quality to our customers. So we just look at it as, hey, basically, we're your kitchen. You're just coming to eat in your kitchen. Taco Casa, under the biggest cactus in town.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Here's your Tuscaloosa and West Alabama forecast. Sweltering sunshine, 93. Gentle southwest breeze. Keep the umbrella handy for scattered afternoon showers and storms. They'll fade away this evening. We turn clear overnight, 75. Friday brings more hot sunny weather with a high 94. Storms likely Saturday, leading to a wet Sunday with periods of heavy rain. More storms expected early next week. Richard DeWething of the Weather Channel for Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
It's 90 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
24/7, 365. We've got all your coverage of the Crimson Tide on Tide 100.9 and 1230 AM WTBC.
Welcome back into this Thursday. This is the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Let's go back to the phone lines. We got Smitty up next. Smitty, welcome in.
How's it going, Christian?
It's good, bro. How's everything?
Well, it's going to be a lovely 115 degrees here in Phoenix, but other than that, hey, we're used to it. You know.
115, wait. 115 degrees or like the heat index is 115?
We don't have heat index out here, good brother. It is 115. It's not a cloud in the sky either.
Dang, that is crazy.
Yeah, but before I bring up Ryan Williams, I remember you guys talking about that running back that Tennessee, Ohio State in a recruiting battle with the Hunt the $1 million guy. Well, is there allegedly that Tennessee's upped that to $2 million a year for a 3-year deal, and also giving him private jet perks, access, and real estate perks. But here's the kicker.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's reportedly. Remember, they did all this for Nico also, and we saw how that worked out. But you remember, like, Ohio State may back off. And I know your audience might know this. The returning starter was freshman All-American last year. It's not slated to make the money that this guy's supposed to make coming out of high school. Now, how do you think that will play well in that locker room if you made freshman All-American and a guy who hasn't played a lick out of high school is supposed to make more than double what I'm making, get you access to the private jet? That won't play too well now, would it?
No, it wouldn't. But, I mean, I think that's why you'll see, guys kind of renegotiating after a year. But, yeah. I mean, that is, and who is this you're talking about that's?
I think his name is, it's that running back. I forgot his name. But
you're talking about the running back?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean,
that's tough, bro. That's tough. Here's the thing, Chris.
But how do we even know all that's going to? The fact that it's being put out publicly, that really could cause some problems. Because these guys got Twitter; they'll be able to see that.
Yeah, and you made Fresh and All American, and what people don't get is, now if you can get it, you know. That's how I look at it. You get what you negotiate. But with stuff like this may be why some schools like Alabama or Georgia, or even possibly Ohio State, may back off a kid. It's not even about the dollar amount. Some of these schools may promise perks. Now, if they fulfill those promises, we don't know. But that's one reason some of these kids hit the portal anyway, because of empty promises. So there's a lot of different reasons. And so before people say someone's broke and stuff like that, or don't want to be aggressive getting guys, I'm not talking about you per se, to my fans and stuff. We don't know what's in these negotiations. If they're offering use of a private jet, Alabama and Georgia are like, no, you know, like that. We'll just roll with somebody else. And we're not knocking the young man and his family, but if you do that for one, you might as well do that for everybody else. And I just think that there's a lot of things that go and get involved with someone may choosing somewhere else, you know?
Yeah. No, there is a lot that goes into it, but the problem is, it's like, if you don't at least try to play by some of those rules, man, you don't really even give yourself a chance. That's the only tough part about it, right? Like with the Monchon sales thing, I know we're trying to be a little conservative, but it sounds like we're being aggressive, at least to an extent, with them. But if someone starts offering some of those lucrative perks like you just mentioned, I don't see us ever doing that kind of stuff. So it kind of is what it is, but hopefully you can keep finding some of these kids that, in fact, don't just value that. I think Elijah Haven he went on to say, we listened to that one brief clip, but I think he also just talked about with them, NIL wasn't the driving factor. It was more so about the development piece, right? Their confidence that wherever they went would be able to put them in position long term. And that's the right idea, right? Like all the other stuff, the glitz and glamour, all the money up front sounds great, but ultimately, you wanted a good balance, right? Because I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, you shouldn't consider, the compensation, because you never know the future plan, right? You don't know what your future holds. So you want to take advantage of it while you can, but you also want to consider that the long-term play is really the important factor for the most part. And so hopefully you can find some kids that have that mentality still, because with what you're talking about, that's just crazy. I don't think it's going to last much longer either, though, if they can get this stuff passed.
Because Nico got all those perks, and he still had his hand out wanting more. In Tennessee, like, hey, we had a deal. But one thing also about Ryan, you guys were talking, and to me, ironically, his biggest issues weren't the drops last year. It was his blocking. And the reason I bring that up is, if you really watch that first Georgia game, he didn't get pulled for some snaps because of his drop. It was because of the block. And I remember I saw a screen pass. He olayed the block. Jeremy Bernard just made a play to get the first down. And to me, this could be the first year Coleman Williams is the leader of the group. And he has to be like Steph Curry. Steph Curry was never a great defender, but as the leader of the team, he gave max effort. And that sets the tone for the rest of the team, where it's like, hey, he ain't a great defender. He ain't the biggest guy, but he still puts his nose in there. And I think that is something that Ryan has to do. It's like, hey, I know I'm not the biggest guy, but I got to put my nose in there to get in the way, because these other younger guys, because they have a young receiving core that they have to get in there. They'll see the top guy, the highest paid guy in the group, putting his nose in there. We put our nose in there too. And I think that is something that he'll have to think about also, as he's the first-time leader of the group, get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just don't know. Some guys aren't going to be – they're not going to excel at that stuff. I don't see him really excelling at being a physical blocker. But it's kind of like what Brandon was saying. It's about the mentality, right? Yeah, just get in the way, be scrappy, just do enough. And I think that's kind of more of what to expect out of him. But I will say, he's shown some scrappiness. There's been some times I've seen him try to put his nose in there. Now, granted, he wasn't very big, so it wasn't, super effective, but he at least tried. You can see some of that effort, and that's about all you can ask for. But they got some guys that I feel like have that presence that could help out. And that's important, man. You know who really stood out because of their physicality? A guy I played with, Ardarius Stewart. I don't know if you guys remember him, but he was a dog, man. And if you go back and watch, I mean, he would be bullying cornerbacks, man. It's all about that mindset. And that's where it started with. I mean, he was probably about 6 foot, maybe 6'1". He wasn't like huge, but he had that dog mentality. And it was like his mission to bully guys. And he gave as much effort blocking as he did when he was receiving the football. And I think that's what really made him special.
Yeah, because I remember Ardarius was not a big guy. And that's why I was saying with Ryan, we know he's not going to mold people over his blocking. But at least just getting in the way, being willing. It's kind of like, I think it was like year 2 of Bryce Young. He put his shoulder down in the NFL and trucked the guy. And like, I remember A-Shaw, like, man, he's trucking dudes, and the team got behind him on that. That he ain't a big guy, but he put it in there. Even if he got trucked himself, at least he did it. And I think that's what, but leadership, well, people understand also, leadership is learned also. And he's still a relatively young guy. But I think what people saying, like, oh, we got to get him going. Hey, we down 17-0 Oklahoma on the road. Ain't no point trying to get somebody going. We got to win the game. But I think with him, he just has to understand also, and I think he does, kind of, the young man cares. You know, and I still believe that Indiana game at the end when he made some tough catches, to me, that was a good confidence builder to build on. Because he got the snot kicked out of him, some of those catches he made, he hung on to it. And I think with him, it's, you know, hey, it's about being, there's a difference between being a great talent and a great player. He's a great talent. But we also got to remember he has to develop also. As long as he develops the little things, the concentration, catching the ball, being routine, because you know that Devontae Smith was great. But he didn't make 25 contested, like, spectacular catches. You know what he was? Dependable, routine. You know, and I think that's the thing right there. He develops that. I think he'll have a great year. But we also have a lot of good talent where it doesn't have to be solely about him as well, because he still commanded double teams last year. Mm-hmm. And I think now that they don't have to force feed him 12 times because there's a double team, we have guys that will be able to help the load also and make his life easier, like a Morgan, a Lotzir Brooks, like that.
Well, Smitty, I might give you a little pushback, man. You made it seem like Smitty wasn't making some of I feel like Smitty was making some of those catches. Why? What do you think? I feel like I remember Smitty consistently making some of those wild
he did.
Kind of catches.
Yeah, he was making, I mean, I don't think he ever dropped a ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was he was definitely different. Just so crazy to think about, because I still remember when he was the skinniest kid that I ever saw on campus, like on our team. I just remember I was like, man, this dude is like, he's little, man. But sure enough, he ended up leaving the program like the best wide receiver to come through here. He's always a great, I guess, story, right? When it comes to just somebody coming in, working, having a lot of things stacked against them, but then just showing and proving everybody wrong, man. Smitty's a great example of that.
Hey, you have a good one, Chris. You guys take it easy. Keep up the great work.
Yes, sir. You too, Smitty. We appreciate you, brother. All right, let's do this. Let's hit a timeout. We come back and keep on rolling on this Thursday. This is from the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9.
With Res Run, Iron Warrior, Volleyball, and the Cornhole Tournament. Visit ChoctawIndianFair.com and like us on Facebook.
Hope to see you there. Pacha Pizza Logic.
Hey, it's Christian Miller, and I wanted to tell you about our friends over at Lamparello Law, Education and Advocacy. Founded by attorney and Professor Adam Lamparello, helping students at every level with mentoring, exam prep, applications, and career planning. Adam also represents students, faculty, and athletes in academic misconduct, First Amendment, NIL, and criminal defense cases. Known for real care and relentless advocacy.
The 250 sales event. Thousands off new and pre-owned. At Tuscaloosa, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. TuscaloosaCDJR.com.
And no tax, right, sir?
Well,
Do you have cracks or potholes that are dragging down your property's appeal? Hey, I'm Christian Miller, and at Asphalt Restoration, we transform driveways and parking lots with expert repairs, new paving, or resurfacing. Fast, durable, and family-owned quality that you can trust. Don't let small issues turn into big expenses. Call 205-393-9149 for your free estimate today. That's 205-393-9149. Asphalt Restoration, where smooth roads start. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide all the time. This is Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC, the home of Alabama Crimson Tide sports.
Welcome back into this Thursday edition of Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTVCR. Let's keep on rolling. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Mac Jones, he sat down with Bustin' with the Boys. There's a number of things from this interview. But he talked about, one, how they mistook him for, I guess they had mistakenly thought he was a walk-on when he first got here, which, funny enough, I mean, I could totally get it. That little picture that they posted on the clip, he kind of did look like one. Matter of fact, let's say, which clip should we start with? Why, there's a number of these, man. Actually, I want to start, we'll start with that one. We'll just go through these clips here. We got plenty of time. Let's hear Mac Jones talking about how they thought he was the walk-on.
How intense was it when you first got to Alabama? Was there a point where you're like, I got to get out of here? Too many goons. Too many goons. I'm used to goons, but this is way too many fucking goons.
That's a good point. I think my mindset was there.
Whoops, White, I didn't realize that. Are you good on that button? Am I good to play this? I didn't realize that.
Yeah. I got you.
Okay, all right.
But like my first day, when I did that lift, because the lifts there were insane. And Scott Cochran was obviously a legend. Go in, you do your warm up, like everything's like so organized and structured. You're running to every lift, so like you'll back squat and then you'll like run to the row machine. It's like you're dying and they'll give you water pretty much. Well, they do. We'll say that they do. But anyways, first day I'm like hallucinating,
Actually, we kind of had like a no water rule. I will just throw that out there. It was like, you could like go get water because the water station was like in the corners. Not like we had like water bottles or anything at our platforms, but like you could sneak off and go get some water real quick. It was just kind of like frowned upon almost, which is kind of crazy to think about. Like it's like why are we why are they not letting us get water? Or if we get water, they basically are like punishing us. I don't know, but I guess it builds character.
Can't even finish an hour workout. And I'm like, do these other guys like Minka Fitzpatrick and everybody are like, they look like they're 10 years older than me. One of the coaches, he thought I was a walk-up.
White guys.
Oh, that's funny, man. Here's something funny about my first lift. So they didn't think I was a walk-on, but I got here a week late in terms of like our summer program. So like everybody else in my class had already been here for a week. So they had a week of workouts under their belt, which I know is 1 week, but let's be honest here. I mean, like 1 week's not going to make a huge difference in terms of like you being in that much better conditioning, but at least your mind is ready and prepared for what we're about to endure. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I spent my last month or two of high school, I worked out, but I wasn't like they sent, now that I think about it, they sent us this conditioning book. And I remember looking at it, I'm just like, they expect us to do all this? I'm like, I'll try to do some of this here. Listen, I was on a boat fishing, I'll be honest with you, man. My best friend lived on the lake, and we used to just go on his John boat, and we used to go bass fishing like every day. I spent like the last month or two before I had to head to Alabama fishing all the time. I was trying to enjoy my last few days, man, as a I guess high schooler or I guess just fresh graduate. I don't know. But anyway, so I show up here. When I tell you, like Mac is not lying, like the intensity of that lift, dude, I literally, speaking of Micah Parsons, I'll play that clip in here in a second. I remember just thinking, I'm like, there's no way that I have to do this 4 days a week. Because the schedule was, during the summer we would lift Monday. I think it's 4 days during the summer. I think it's Monday, Tuesday, 1 day off. Yeah, I think it's like 4 days. It was 4 days during the week. But anyway, the season you have to pick 2 or 3. I can't remember, something like that. Anyway, I just remember I had Coach TJ, who I don't know if you guys are familiar with Coach TJ, but he played here, old school guy, man. I mean, like he's a legend. And he was specifically working with me and my group, right? And when I tell you, he was like intentionally, like he was doing everything in his power to make it like the hardest lift on me. And I remember he tried to put 225 on incline bench. This is my first day. I remember like
how much?
225 on incline, which I know you guys are probably like, 225 on bench. I mean, you're a D1. Guys, I was 17, and you talk about Smitty being skinny. I wasn't Smitty skinny, but for an edge guy, like I was like 2 up. I look like a receiver. Like, I was not like a big, like, I wanted Deshaun Hand. I mean, even like Rashawn Evans. Rashawn was like 225, 230, and a little bit shorter. Like, Rashawn was built. He was stronger than me. Like, physically, like, I was behind people. I felt like Matt. Like, other guys in my class were a lot stronger than I was. This dude put 225 on the bar on incline. When I tell you why, he lifted it up, and the thing just came down on my chest, and I was just holding it. I'm like waiting on him, and he's just yelling at me. I'm just holding the bar. Because I'm like, I just met this guy, so I'm like, I don't want to be yelling at him. Like, hey, man, pull it. I'm just kind of like, coach. And he started just calling me all type of stuff, man. I remember I felt so defeated. I remember thinking, I'm like, bro, what did I sign up for? Like, I'm like, I signed a letter of intent. I'm like, can I even just get out of this if I want to? Like, I felt like I was like,
can I ask out of this? Like,
I was like, I don't even know if I can just quit if I want to. Like, I signed up for this. Like, they give me a scholarship. So I'm not gonna lie. That first day did not get off to a great start, and I did not like Coach TJ, man, because he called. I can't even say what he was calling me, because it went from there, and we went down and weighed, and then we went over to it. We were doing, I think it was somewhere. It was like the dumbbell area, and we were either doing skull crushers or something else, man. And like Mac just talked about, it literally was from station to station. So like he just killed me on incline, and then we run over to dumbbells, and he's trying to throw like 80, individual dumbbells on and do stuff, or like skull crushers with like 120, which is a tricep exercise, and you're going over your head. I'm just like,
hell no.
People lost their mind? Oh, why? And mind you, I'm looking at Derrick Henry. I'm looking at, Ashawn. I'm looking at Jonathan now. I'm looking at TJ Yeldon, because when I got here in 2014, I played with guys from like that 13, 12 era. They were seniors. Big Nudie, Justin Fowler, who was, he just was yoked, right? Like, I just remember thinking, I'm like, bro, these people, like, I do not fit here. But what was crazy, because like the reason I wanted to come to Alabama was really because I thought to myself, I'm like, I want to become that. I'm clearly not that. So I'm like, they got to work with me a little bit. But, we ended up having a great relationship, man. And he took a liking to me, man. And I realized he really was just getting on me because he saw something in me, and he really wanted to push me. But at the time, like, those first couple weeks, man, like it was the most miserable thing, because I just remember thinking, I'm like, bro, the next 4 years, I have to just do this like every day. And I just remember thinking, I'm like, bro, I don't even know if I want to do this. Like, I'm like, is it even worth playing football at this point? Like, I'm like, bro, I'll just go to school, man. I was a pretty good student, man. I'm like, I had 3.9 GPA in high school. I could probably get an academic scholarship at this point. But I'm glad
at least you were bulking though, right? Like, because you were trying to put weight on.
Yes, but the problem why it was the way I started, again, I got there a week late, and normally you're supposed to go through like the first week, you're really supposed to have like a week of acclimation where they teach you, the proper technique. You're doing just the bar, right? Like you power clean with just like a 10 on there, which is nothing, right? Just to get the form. I missed the most important week. So when I got there, they already did that. And I just jumped straight into the fire. And that's when but I didn't realize that. And I remember I got back to the dorm, and Jamie Mosley was my roommate, and it was like two on each side. Derek Keefe, and then, who Mac also mentioned in here. They had this stupid story that I'll play in a second, because I remember that part too. And then Keith Holcomb. And I remember getting there, and they were just like, "You good, bro?" I was like, No, I don't want to do this no more. And they're like, "No, bro, it gets better." They're like, "You kind of missed the intro stuff." And I'm like, well, no, duh. Like, I'm like, dude, he just threw 225 on incline. I can probably do 4 reps of 225 on flat bench if I'm lucky. I'm like, this dude has lost his mind. But
it's like I can do 4 reps if I'm, if I've had plenty of water, plenty to eat, and I get some smelling salts. All right, maybe I can do 5 reps.
We had plenty of those too, man. Cochran was crazy, man. Cochran used to like walk around with these things like in a bottle. Like, matter of fact, I got me a vitamin water bottle right here. He would have like a bottle converted into like smelling salt and just shake it up, and you would be on a platform. He just walks by and just like opens the
he just
cap,
walks by. Here you go.
Dude, but it was crazy because there would be like 20 capsules in there. Dude, like, I'm like, bro, like you would literally go speak to Jesus and come back like after you got a whiff, and it wasn't even like under your nose. That's how strong. Like, the more I think back on like some of the stuff we did, I'm like, there's no way we probably should have been doing probably what we were doing. I'm like, like Micah Parsons talks about, like him seeing that. He's everything he's saying, he's not wrong. Like 31-10s, if someone doesn't make a time, it doesn't count, and you just keep going. And I'm like, bro, there was moments that you literally just, I remember I didn't even like feel like I was running. It's just like my body was just moving. And I'm just sitting there just like, it's so hard to explain, man. But it's crazy because in the moment, it's the worst thing ever. Like you hate the strength coaches because they're just yelling at you. You just want to go home. You want to sleep. Then when you look back on it, you're like, dang, those are actually some good times. But in the moment, bro, it was terrible.
See, I need that level of accountability in the gym, though. Like, I need somebody. I need that. Maybe not that level, but I need somebody to, because I'm a smooth talker. I can talk my way just about out of anything here. That's why I'm in radio. Sure. I can talk myself out of going to the gym. I can talk anybody I know out of, hey, you know what? Let's not put the heavy weight on today. And for me, heavy, right. Heavy ain't nothing to y'all, but for me, it's heavy. Been consistent in the gym for about 3 weeks. Talked myself out of it yesterday, and I feel like crap today.
Well, you're talking about accountability. You're right. They're running a choice because the guys that, if you showed up late, you would be punished. And one of those punishments was, while everybody's lifting, they would make you, what was it? Like crab walk, like hold a 45.
Yes, we had that. We had that in high school football. Yeah, they made us crab walk with a 45-pound weight back and forth through the weight room. Oh yeah, ours we just doing laps, crab walk with the 45, and they would assign in like a student assistant to the guys that helped in the weight room, like to watch you, like you couldn't just stop, like you just be doing the whole time, and then you still had to come back and make up that lift. It was bad. And then if you were late to the conditioning part, because the way we did it was everybody had to do 6:30 a.m. conditioning. Like there was no, like now they have it separated. Now it's just like if you work out at 12, you do the conditioning with the 12 o'clock group. Ours was like, no sir, everybody's tail is up there at 6:30, and it starts at 6:30. Like we are on the field blowing the whistle at 6:30. If you were not out there at 6:30, you were pencil rolling the whole time. So like pencil, you're literally just rolling on itchy grass for like an hour, and then you'd have to come make it up, and it just was just bad, man. Like how many 110s did y'all run? So we were supposed to run the number of national championships that we were going for, right? So if it was like 17, we would run 17. And then everybody had a time. So it was broken up by bigs, which are the linemen, right? The trench guys, mid-skill, linebackers, tight ends, the running backs in mid-skill, I think they might have been. Anyway, then skill, DBs, receivers, so forth. But them jokers in 2008 got it easy. I feel bad for those that were playing in 21 and 22. Wait, why do you say that? Because if you're running the number of national championships that you're chasing. Oh, you had to do even more. Them jokers in like 08 were running 12 and 13. Them kids in 2022 were running 19. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So it got harder as I guess the years went on. We had more success. The better you were, the harder it was. Yeah, 100%. But the kicker was if one person didn't make their time, it didn't count. So you really would end up running like 25 plus. Because I'm just going to be honest with you. You think these 330-pound guys, like, shout out to B Hill, man. No offense to B Hill. B Hill was like probably 350, man. B Hill ain't supposed to be running 110s like that. Like, B Hill running versus a 275-pound D lineman, a little bit different, right? Poor B Hill, big Shank. Shank, I'm not gonna lie. I love Shank. Shout out to Shank. I know he's doing some great stuff in media. Hey, Shank. You made us run so many extra 110s, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. At the time, I was young. I used to be so mad at Shank. Listen, if somebody can clip this and send it to him, it's all love. I love Shank. Shank used to have us out there for hours, man. But he was trying, though. He was trying. I'll give him that. And I don't know what it's like to run with all that extra weight because I was skinny. So it still was hard for me. Mark Cooper and them just like cruising. Meanwhile, guys like Shank are just huffing wind. Oh, it was tough. I will say Derrick Henry was probably the best when it came to stuff. He looked like he would be barely cracking a sweat. He's tall, so he had big strides, great athlete. But even though he was big, bro, his conditioning was insane. Like he was always front of the line, finishing in front of everybody. He could run all day. Derrick Henry was. He's just built different, man. He's just built different. You wouldn't expect that out of somebody that big, but he was probably one of the most
conditioned athletes we had, always in the front of everything. Minka was like that too, but Minka wasn't that same size. So for me, Derek is just kind of like, that's impressive, but I don't know. I could go on all day about this. We got to hit a timeout when we come back. We got one last segment on this Thursday Blitz edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
Hey, it's Christian Miller, and I want to tell you about our great friends over at Brian Harding Construction. Located in the heart of Tuscaloosa, Brian Harding Construction is woman-owned and strong as steel, a specialty manufacturing firm with expertise in structural steel fabrication, ASME code piping and vessels, CNC machine work, welding, laser cutting, pipe fitting, industrial maintenance, and crane rentals. With a proven track record of over 30-plus years of experience, no one is better fit for the job. For an evaluation,
Ram, Tuscaloosa's destination for iconic Jeeps. Drive a new 2026 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4, priced at $54,529.
From our home base in Birmingham, Alabama, we are here treating patients from every generation across the United States and from around the world. We're here for the rookies and the dreamers, trying to make a name for themselves. We are here for the achievers,
who are resilient
and won't take no for an answer. We're here for the coaches,
athletic trainers, and mentors
who are.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Hey, it's Christian Miller, and I wanted to tell you about our friends over at Lamparello Law, Education and Advocacy. Founded by attorney and Professor Adam Lamparello, helping students at every level with mentoring, exam prep, applications, and career planning. Adam also represents students, faculty, and athletes in academic misconduct, First Amendment, NIL, and criminal defense cases. Known for real care and relentless advocacy. For guidance you can trust, call 201-317-5115 or visit lamparello-law.com. That's Lamparello Law, Education and Advocacy. Proud partner.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Here's your Tuscaloosa and West Alabama forecast. Sweltering sunshine, 93. Gentle southwest breeze. Keep the umbrella handy for scattered afternoon showers and storms. They'll fade away this evening. We turn clear overnight, 75. Friday brings more hot sunny weather with a high 94. Storms likely Saturday, leading to a wet Sunday with periods of heavy rain. More storms expected early next week. Richard DeWetting of the Weather Channel for Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
It's 92 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Your front row seat to all things Alabama. Tide 100.9 and 1230 AM WTBC, the home of Alabama Crimson Tide sports.
I'll play it for us. And welcome back into this Thursday edition of Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Since we're reminiscing right now, Wyatt, and we're listening to Mac Jones, he's on Bustin' the Boys, talk about some of these stories. This clip, real quick, that I'm going to play, I already started to during the break with our streams. But so I was explaining, we do a period every week, right? Mac Jones, he's on the scout team, right? So he's giving the look for the defense, which means, yes, when you're on the scout team, I've spent plenty of time on the scout team. You're there to get better. You're there to give it a good look. And ultimately, you're trying to improve yourself. But the main priority is, like I just said, to give a look. We always do a period where we're going through scenarios, right? Situational football is very important. Coach Saban, we covered every little detail, right? Every situation imaginable, we practiced it on a weekly basis. It was somewhere in our practice schedule. So there is a period where we would end with the Hail Mary, where, scout team, they'd throw the ball up, and we would go through our whole deal where we get in our kind of end of game scenario to defeat the Hail Mary, right? And basically the way that looks is everybody's like, you got guys on the end zone, and you're trying to create this box, swat the ball down, end the game, right? Don't try to be a hero, no interceptions, just swat the ball down. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're practicing. Well, Mac Jones and my roommate, Derek Keefe, took it upon themselves to audible and try to just end the game another way instead of the Hail Mary that we're supposed to be practicing. This is what Mac Jones is talking about.
Scout team running through Hail Mary, full speed practice, full pads. It got pretty intense leading up to this. Like, we're dicing them. It's third down day. We're in the Hail Mary periods. It's like, all right, everyone go down there, kind of just throw it up. Hail Mary. So I'm not, they line up. I've never seen this before. There's like no one within 60 yards of the guy on the line of scrimmage. They're all in the back, which is some teams do. Anyways, I call an audible. Derek Keith signal now, like a now pass. So I catch the ball, throw it to him right away. It's supposed to be a Hail Mary, by the way. I throw it to him. He takes off, runs down the field. Somehow the guys knew to block the people in front of him. Then he cuts it back and pitches it back to me, and I score a touchdown on a Hail Mary drill.
You're just sprinting down like, oh, something's going to happen here.
Because I was like, oh my God, I just totally screwed up. I'm going to ruin everything. And I scored, spiked it. Everyone's celebrating. We're dancing. I just look back and I see Saban with his hat. He slams it as hard as I've ever seen someone slam a hat. And he's yelling at me, but I can't hear him because the crowd knows. So I'm I don't know what the card told me to do that. I'm just over there making up stuff. But maybe you guys should stop it.
Dude, he is. When I tell you, he's one of the funniest guys I played with. Because how he's in that interview, he's been that way since I've known him. Talks smack on the trash. He talks all the trash in the world on the scout team, and he's not wrong. There'll be days he'd be dicing us up a little bit, and he will let you hear it. But this is one thing you don't do, Wyatt. Whatever the practice script says, you do. Doesn't matter if it makes sense. Doesn't matter if you want to test things or you want to make a play. If you're on the scout team, follow the script, man. Coach Saban, when you talk about details, everything is in there for a reason. He don't want to see you improvise and do that bull crap. Now, what's funny is it probably wasn't in the long term, it probably was a decent thing to consider because it probably, opened up the conversation. Okay, maybe we need to, reposition our underneath defenders. To Mac's point, there were some underneath defenders, right? We never just had everybody on the, now there would be 5-6 guys back there. We still would have a couple underneath defenders. But to his point, I don't know what got in him and Derek Keith's mind that day. But, probably not the brightest idea to improvise, especially on a drill like that, because that is only in there to practice a special end game scenario. So what happens is we have to run it back. And when you run things back, it wastes time. And Coach Saban hates wasting time. And everything spirals. So, and I remember that. Mac Jones, you're very bold for doing that. But,
well, wasn't it if the offense had a really good day, then Coach Saban would come out all ticked off and be like, practice sucked, even though the offense had a great day. So maybe he was just tired of being told that they suck when he's sitting there slicing and dicing up defense.
But here's the thing, why? Everybody would acknowledge it. There's no hiding it. There, we could sit there and say, hey, he's doing his thing. Scout team, like Derek Keith, who we mentioned. Shout out Derek Keith. He's coaching right now. He's at Maryland. He's with Locks. Derek Keith, he's not going to get a bunch of attention because, he didn't get that many opportunities to really play. But if you saw him in practice, Derek Keith would be doing dudes up, our starters. That's how good our roster was. We would have guys that were, literally scout team All-Americans, not because they were just giving all this extra effort. No, they were just damn good players, but we had so many good football players, not everybody could play. And him and Derek Keith, I remember they were doing their thing on the scout team. Just listen, if you're slicing and dicing, that's cool. The coaches watch the tape. You're going to get the credit. Just don't improvise. That's at least with Coach Saban. Other coaches, I can't speak on that. But
that's what Mac was saying. The card told him, hey, we're going to try this.
That was a lie. Yeah, that was a lie. Like he said, he was just making stuff up. That card did not. Now he probably got an intern or the GA, whoever, because everybody's got a responsibility. Whoever was the card guy, he probably got ripped. Mac Jones probably got that dude a good chewing because of that. Because he blamed it on that guy. So anyway, Mac
may have gotten the guy fired.
He could have. Coach Saban was always a little bit, it's crazy. He would get on you, but he didn't really like letting people go. Even when coaches would part ways, it was never they got fired. They kind of just, parted ways and got a new opportunity. He was very
respectful. He let Lane Kiffin stick around as long as he did.
I wish we could have had him just one more game. Might have had another national championship, but freaking Lane Kiffin couldn't just be patient, man. Where'd he go? FIU?
FAU at the time.
FAU? Bro, who are you going to try to commit that bad? Who are you trying to
they play in Miami now.
Yeah, but still,
Tuscaloosa in January, South Beach.
I know, but I'm just
Lane Kiffin at the time
waited 2 weeks, man. he was so focused on that next job, it really was a distraction. But I don't know. I like Lane.
You were on the team at the time, so.
Yeah, well, it just annoys me thinking back on it because I'm like, dude, like, how are you going to preach to all of us? Like, hey, we need to be focused to practice it. You're over here like double dipping, man. Like, I get it. You're excited about the next opportunity, but brother, we're playing for a national championship. You're going to FAU. Like, I think you can wait. Those recruits aren't that important, probably. I don't know. We got to get out of here. Wyatt Show is coming up next. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Big thanks to all you guys listening via radio, Tide 100.9, the app, all of our streams, all that good stuff. We got a free-for-all Friday coming up tomorrow to cap off this week as we keep making our way through the dog days of summer right here on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Hope you guys have a great rest of y'all's day, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.